You know, in that stylistic matchup with Sean O'Malley and Aljo, you know, it's a great fight. You know, I actually like both fighters, to be honest. You know, I think they're both great fighters. Aljo's a great champion. You know, he's left a great history and legacy so far. And Sean's on the come up, and you know, he's leaving a great legacy. And you know, he's gonna put a stamp on fights. So that's an exciting guy you can't ever count out. So I think that would be a great, highly anticipated fight, and the best thing for the bantamweight division.
But I'm gonna snipe this dude. I gotta snipe this dude. He's very funky. He walks forward and throws some, you know, weird shit, off balance shit. And you know, I gotta be ready for that. And that's where I'm gonna snipe him. I believe I have the tools to snipe him.
I mean, what's this guy gonna do to me? Like, really? And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. It's a subtle jab, but it's the truth. It's like, I mean, it's a fight. Yeah, anything can happen. But at the end of the day, I think we all know what his kryptonite is, and it's unproven in the octagon. We seen him one time on his back, and he was like a fish out on land. Right. And Cheeto smashed him and sent him home. You know, so I think Cheeto might have hit him one time, and his eyes rolled back in the back of his head. And I'm like, that's not a good sign. And he's got a tiny head. He's tall. He talks about my weight, but he's skinny. He's a twig. I hit him squarely, take him down. I think that fight's as good as over, probably in one.
Does Sean O'Malley have anything else besides his fakes, his feints, and punching and striking? Does he have the ability to actually mix his fighting? Because it's pretty predictable. Does he have the ability to really defend a guy like Aljamain Sterling? Does he have those abilities? And I'm about to say right now, guys, the answer is no.
But to your point, what the do we think these guys have been doing for the last 2 years? His jiu-jitsu coach is a former Aljo opponent, if I'm not mistaken, Augusto Tanquinho Mendez. You got to think everything they've been doing is to try to shore up those defenses, to avoid getting their back taken, right? So I do feel like Sterling is going to have a decided advantage on the ground, but I'm not sure it's quite as pronounced as O'Malley's advantage could be on the feet with the length and the size and just the athleticism overall. Like, go see Sean O'Malley shoot a basketball. This is a plus athlete in every sense. Now, I do believe Aljamain Sterling is going to be the betting favorite, but I think it's a very competitive fight.
You know, listen, either way, I don't think it's a great matchup for Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley's got that, he's very accurate, and I think his grappling's underrated. Where he guillotined the guy and he took down Yan almost, and he's not horrible on the floor, but there is levels, and I think if he just needs one takedown, Aljo doesn't even need the takedown. No. There's guys that jump up on backs that shouldn't jump up on back. Dude, he gets on their back, it's a round winner or a fight ender.
Henry's only 5'2", and he almost smacked a head kick on Aljo, and he's hitting him. So the key is going to be, I mean, good footwork. It's going to be a big cage. That'll be a big difference. I think the small cage had a lot to do with Corey Sandhagen and Aljo, him sprinting right at him, double-legging him, getting his back. And then obviously you have to be able to sprawl, and just be careful when you're getting up. He wants you to go to all fours and get up so he can body triangle your back, and he's an expert in that area. So, and there's a lot of things on the ground that people haven't seen from Sugar. There's the plan against Sugar his whole career, he spins, he does flashy stuff, is pressure him, put him on the cage, take him down. That's every single game plan of people's fights. When they fight him, that's been their game plan. So we've been preparing for that kind of stuff for the last 10 years. Aljo's a whole different animal, so we're gonna find out what happens.
And it's a fight. Like, he could easily land a 1-2 that stings me right on the chin and put me down. And that's just what it is. It's a fist fight. Like, anything can happen in there. And I understand that. The last time I underestimated somebody, I was staring at the lights. And I don't even remember staring at the lights. I woke up in a hospital. I came to my senses in a hospital against Marlon Vera. You know, so I've been humbled by this sport. And I think O'Malley needs to be humbled again. I guess him breaking his foot against Cheeto, that wasn't enough for him, so I got to do it again to him.
Sugar's reaction times are so good, and if you make a mistake striking, look at Petr Yan, how high his guard is and how sharp of a striker he was, and Sugar was able to find his chin and drop him. I just cannot see. I mean, I think Sugar's going to crack him. I think he's going to hurt him, wobble him, and Aljo's going to take a shitty shot, and he's probably going to put him to sleep one way or another.
If you see acting like who fight who. The fight shouldn't be a problem for Sterling. I mean, O'Malley can say whatever the say.
For O'Malley, I think that he's an excellent striker. He's going to have that length and reach advantage over Aljo. It all comes down to, can Aljo go in there, bridge that gap, and take him down? Now, O'Malley is an improving grappler, no question about it. I would say there's certain aspects of his game that might be even dangerous, with his submission game, but I don't think he's going to be a threat towards someone like Aljamain Sterling on the ground. I think that's where Aljo can not only win that fight, but actually dominate and just look beastly in the process, and then go, yeah, motherfuckers, I'm going up to 145 pounds. I've cleaned out the division. Take it easy. And then opens the door for his buddy Merab Dvalishvili.
It doesn't matter if he will smash O'Malley even July or August, or it doesn't matter even tomorrow. Aljo, style makes fight, and Aljo can't beat O'Malley. It's not new news.
Because Sean O'Malley's good on the ground. He's not as good as Aljo on the ground, but he's good on the ground. The reach and the speed that he has on the feet, can he utilize that to keep this thing on the feet? We've seen that Aljo's got wrestling. He took down Henry Cejudo. I know that Henry's a little bit smaller, but Henry's a different level of wrestling than anyone's ever faced. And Sean O'Malley doesn't have that wrestling.
We have some good wrestlers here in Phoenix, wrestlers that are better than Aljo. The guys like Bryce Meredith. There's a handful of just really good wrestlers, and we're just going to be working a lot with them on making the right decisions and having the right reactions when Aljo takes his shots.
Aljo is in a perfect spot to go heel. If you're the heel, if you're the bad guy, and you're going for that, the boos to your ears are going to be cheers, and you need them louder, and you need them in section, and you need a chorus of them, and you want to hear them all over. You want them at media day, you want them at weigh-in day, you want them on fake weigh-in day, you want when you walk out of it. It's one of these things, and Sterling has that ability. He has that look. He's that charismatic guy. He's got the right eyes. He's got the right energy. He's the champion of the world. It's an interesting spot, and you can control that.
I almost feel like maybe the UFC is almost like my papi, so I look at them like my dad, where I almost feel like I need to prove something to Pops, to be like, oh yeah, you think this? I'm gonna show you, motherfucker. For me, this is what gets me going, this is what gets me up in the morning, and this is what gets me in the gym and push those hours. There's times, man, I do these Shark Tank drills, dude, I'll do 8 rounds. Like, this is the type of mentality and this is the type of warfare that I'm preparing for when I go into these fights. Like, I come in ready.
Jon O'Malley finally gets his title fight, made his UFC debut a long time ago now, but it's been a slow, steady rise, an increase in skill, increase in opponents, and he's passed the test with flying colours. Of course, against Petr Yan, what a fight that was, incredible, and the former champion as well, so he puts him in good stead. Obviously, when you're talking about Aljamain Sterling, one of the things that you've got to watch is the wrestling, and that's what this fight ultimately comes down to.
He is going to get tested in the grappling realm against Aljamain Sterling. He's definitely going to try to overwhelm Sean O'Malley. But Sean O'Malley presents a lot of unique issues for Aljamain Sterling. The striking and the length that Sean O'Malley operates at can be difficult for anyone in the 135-pound division. But for all that we hear, Sean O'Malley is much better in grappling than he has shown in the octagon, because he hasn't had to show it inside the octagon.
I got to be very cautious about my approach, and I got to make sure I'm dialed in and I don't look past them. But what are people going to say after I beat this guy now? It's just like this. I think people are going to have to start realizing that I am as good as I say I am, and that's it, I can humbly say I am him.
I understand how dangerous of an opponent Aljo is. I know his strength, I know his weaknesses, so I know what I'm getting into. I'm very excited for the challenge, and I do believe I have the ability and the skills to go out there and shock the world.
So look at us, what are good people here at the UFCPI.
What do you weigh?
It's okay, brother.
Y'all look like you're 67 and a half.